Oh, it was good conversation, wasn't it? And here is the matchup that Medina faces in the second round, just the second time he's been relegated to this round in 2016, up against Ryan Callinan.
Kind of hefty, long left-handers here. That's where he can lean on that front side hack. Gabriel looking for the ramp. Wow, right on cue. A solid alley-oop for Gabriel. And, you know, we were wondering, man, is he going to be a little bit frazzled from that altercation with Jordy this morning? And the answer obviously is no. I think Gabriel, no matter how you look at it, he just runs hot. Let's take a look from the channel. Kind of a late pop there. That was cool. You know, it didn't look like he was going to be able to get that rotation when he hit that ramp, but Gabriel is so crafty. He doesn't need a whole lot of ramp to get that pop right there. Now he's going to kick the tail towards the channel and rotate that board all the way around. So Gabriel, one of the best you could argue in the world at manufacturing scores when the waves are below average, and that's exactly what's going on today. So this is going to be a very tough heat for Ryan.
How's that bottom turn too, just driving up into that next section. 6.83 for this wave. Medina rode a different board in round one. Took this thing out for a warm-up session yesterday afternoon. Rode it again this morning. Looking pretty good. This is Ryan Callinan's first effort.
Ryan very smooth on his rail. Kind of made some comparisons to some surfers in past generations. Luke Egan's got that cool knock knee in his back leg. Gets low to the deck of his board. Has a lot of leverage. He's a big kid running. So, you know, if he's going to beat Gabriel, he's going to really have to rely on that hack.
Well, here goes Medina. This is live now. Building speed, driving into this first carve. Up into the pocket in the face of Ryan Callinan there. Just tapping that one. Tricky section on the inside with a lot of foam on the face of the wave.
I love how much pop Gabriel has. Even with his snaps, you can see he has so much control when he slides the tail. So he's going to look for his position right. There's just a smooth setup carve. Now watch as he kicks the tail out. Nice jam in the pocket there. And that's tough to do today. It's tough to do it at this surf spot because the wave is so down the line. It's hard to get any kind of variation and torque going the other direction. You really want to keep your momentum up, but Gabriel's...
Callinan, during that replay of Medina's last ride, pulled into this barrel, just a 1.1, the throwaway. It's not going to help his cause at all.
Leaning into kind of a half carve, but still getting rewarded.
25.5 minutes to go, and Ryan Callinan uses priority on this wave. Nice fin throw to get started. Bashes the lip once again, setting the fins free. And now it goes to that clean full rail carve. Great combination of maneuvers on this wave for Callinan, and he finishes with a little committed wrap on the inside. 25 minutes to go.
It's all about the first two snaps. This first one, setting the pace, vertical, and blasted the tail free. Carbon copy on that second one. I like how he got to the lip, Ronnie. He waited till he put his board up there, and then he popped the tail. And beautiful variation. That third maneuver, strong on his rail.
Medina watching on from out the back, thinking, all right, rookie, let's see what you can do. And Medina's now going to try and find an answer. He tucks into the barrel, very deep in the tube here, and almost getting to the exit, riding over the foam ball. And the competitors are really attacking the sections when they get those set waves.
Well, let's see the travel time. So there's a huge portion of the tour that would have been stopped right there, and he busted through that last section. So he did a good job trying to sneak out of that barrel, but we're going to look right into it. Watch the whitewash fill up the barrel. So right there, he's trying to bust through it, and he did a great job getting to that second section. But you can see right there that barrel shut down. It didn't stay wide open for him.
Well, this is Medina now live, taking off, setting up the tube, getting some speed. And he is in there gunning, and he will find his way through that opening. Now puts his board on rail and just bashes the closeout.
Man, how fired up is he? Gabriel Medina is today. Straight out of the free surf, right into this heat. He is bursting with energy. That was a very crafty tube ride right there. Kind of another tricky small barrel. It's easy to get a shoulder or a limb kind of hung up in the barrel, and he did really nice to needle through that technical tube ride. This is going to be an awesome shot right here. Watch the pumps to get that speed up. Got tons of speed. Now he's just needling his way through, and as you can see, just barely stayed clean. Touched the top of his head just a little bit. And I loved that closing maneuver too, how he placed his board right up on the lip and pinned it. Solid finish.
Didn't get in clean, and I would have maybe got a nice pit if I had a clean entry, but I just kind of muffed the takeoff and yeah, just kicked through and then got priority and kind of held that till the end of the heat.
It's been fun. And it's still fun. There is some good opportunity at the moment, and Medina without priority, hanging wide, gets himself into a pretty decent sized set. Big carve to get started, and drifts that tail, just kicks that back foot. Now floating, big tail drop, almost loses his front foot, but hangs on to finish this ride off right there on the inside. Really starting to round out his turns. You think back to Matt Wilkinson's performance in the last heat.
But if it's a nice smooth canvas for a carve, he'll go for it. And that's exactly what this wave was begging for. Right here, watch this first section. Again, he sat down on that carve. Beautiful little hack, but he kept his speed up just enough to make that last section. So because that wave was so fast, he really had to keep his board going down the line. You talk about milking it. He squeezed every point out of that wave.
Did a good job, and this is the perfect example of what we were talking about. Under priority, snuck this wave. This is going to be his second best score.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's got to be tripping out there in the back, saying, "What just happened? I didn't even really see that wave." And that's the benefit of hounding the lineup, looking back and forth. This wave just swung wide enough, created a little bit of space away from Ryan. He had priority, but because Gabriel's so fidgety in the lineup, he snuck away and grabbed it.
And you mentioned that variation, just mixed things up beautifully on that last ride. And here he is once again. He had a 7.77 for his previous wave. And you can just tell that Gabriel has a much better beat on this lineup. He understands that those waves are going to push wide occasionally and you can pick off scoring potential. And he's going to swing on into one here, or has a look at it. But he just kicked out of a ride from deeper up the remaining, as Medina just continues to punish Ryan Callinan without priority, but this isn't going to go into his top two. His last wave came through at a 7.77.
I am impressed though with Ryan and his patience. You know, he has a wave in mind. Maybe this is it.
Here he goes, using priority. It is a smaller wall, and he'll really need to light it up if he's going to get the required number, 9.44. Huge turn, just pulling the nose of his board through the wall of the wave there, and he just whips it into a reverse on the end section, but doesn't quite ride out. But it was almost a case of narrowing the requirement, because the wave was probably smaller than his 6.5, and he went mad on the 6.5.
You'd have to say he finally, whoa, watch this, step on the gas. You'd say he finally ran out of patience, Ronnie. He just said, okay, I'm done. There's 8 minutes left. I got to get going here. But I'm with you. I can't really see this going any higher than a 6.5 prior. Very similar type of wave. But, man, the style and power on this kid is insane. A lot of power in that hack right there. Even though he just caught a little bit of a rail, it was because he was pushing hard. I like his narrow stance. Again, it looks very stylish. Gets that knee kind of slammed against the deck. Almost pulled off that reverse. That would have been cool. That's going to not help his cause. He's going to be looking for a couple of scores.
And let's check out the heat recap. Got started early with Medina planning this alley-oop for a 6.83. Pretty tidy stuff.
I mean, the theme of this heat here for Gabriel Medina is just a frothy pit bull. He's been hounding the lineup. He's been staying busy. He's done it in every fashion here. He's gotten barreled. He did an alley-oop. He did it with a really strong hack, cutbacks. A little bit of everything here, Ronnie.
How was that barrel riding? In that tight, small tube, he was able to thread his board and still gain speed inside the tube.
There's the power hack. A little tribute to Aki right there. It's amazing how much he mixed it up in this heat. There's just everything on display. There's the flow, a very fast wave. Jeez, I hope he didn't really stress his front knee on that one. That was a tough landing for Gabriel. But again, very frothy. I think, you know, that kind of trippy little warm-up this morning, the altercation with Jordy, it just got him fired up.
And this is Ryan Callinan. This was his last ride. That second turn was really strong, straight into the big hack. So you can see that combination of those two major turns is what really turned them on.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, we'll try and get a look at the 6.5, but right now Callinan is trying to chase down an 8.34. Just not exiting those turns the way you would like, just getting a little caught up in that breeze. Can happen here at Cloudbreak. 2 minutes remaining, and Medina's looking to shut this one down with this ride, using priority on this wave. Whipping through that first move, setting up the barrel, and looks for the low road out of the pit and just gets slapped.
Extremely casual. Almost cocky. I love that first snap, a lot of flow, and then just stomped on a tail. Was kind of cruising, and now he steps on the gas. So I think right from the get-go, Gabriel knew he was going to have to exit out of that barrel on the doggy door side. But you got to be a little bit more on the early side to get out of that, because if you get clamped by the lip, it's really tough to win that battle here at Cloudbreak. It's got so much power.
He needs an 8.34. Medina's last wave didn't factor into his top two. Well, the clock is winding down. Callinan's not going to get that opportunity at an 8.34. And he will be taking home his third round two loss in 2016. And it's going to put a lot of pressure on him going into the back half of the year, because he's going to keep coming up against these top seeds. As Medina just takes a bit of a victory lap down the reef here. And he is starting to really click. So many waves ridden. Ultra committed there after the hooter.
Conditions look really nice too. That little offshore breeze just puffed up. It's looking pretty clean out there.
That was a tidy performance. He'd scored a total of 15.94. Started with fireworks and just kept improving, taking chances on insiders, and it eventually led to victory for Medina.